and they ask questions, and you turn around and say that cannot be. Because we are told, and we do know because we too have been in government before, that once you talk about presidential approval, the sitting president as the final authority in the nation, that approval cannot be subjected to lower levels of any form of discourse or dialogue session or procedures. And so if in anticipation of such procedures, you reserve whatever is the requisition for those processes to be completed before they are now given for final approvals by Mr. President.
Now, let me pick up on your point and ask Mr. Shehu, because there are those who are also asking, is these funds, are they budgeted for, or is it a pawn as well, as he has suggested?
No, what will follow is the budgetary process, which is the approval. Consider this as an emergency spending, an emergency intervention. In the past, as they did it, they just took money and spent it. And this is why called Governor Rotimi Amechi. That's why they were in hell of a fire then, because the governors forum would ask questions. You are spending our money without our say-so. So you see, this is different now. It's the governors who came forward and said, look, Mr. President, go spend this.
Mr. Shehu,
yes.
So you, at a certain time, you were part of the PDP. I mean, you were a spokesperson, former vice president, so you had an idea of how the PDP worked and all that. So the question I'll ask is, do two wrongs make a right? If the PDP messed up in its administration of the nation's resources and they didn't follow due process, is it okay for this government that's come to solve the problems of the past to be, in quote, towing the same line?
No, let me, okay, first of all, let me say to you that, one, I hope you go to church or mosque, whichever you choose, as I do. You know, nothing says that the bad man today cannot become a good man tomorrow. And I think that the prayer for all, you know, clerics is bad people should become good people. Yes. So please don't go back to PDP.
Can that apply? Can that apply to the PDP too? They can become good?
Yeah, you know, we had a problem.
No, you respond. Hang on.
We had a problem with their apology. What we said is that there are processes to it. First of all, show remorse. Return what you took unlawfully. And then vow that you will never do it again. And it's over.
It's playing God now. I thought it's for Nigerians.
No. If you read the scriptures, it's all about the scriptures. That's what you have.
So but I don't lose time.
It is not right to say that APC is doing the same thing. This is the first time this kind of intervention is coming, initiated by the governors themselves, and the checks will be done. The due process will be followed. The president will not do the wrong thing, I assure you.
Well, the president is already doing the very wrong things. And we need to sustain this reminder. If you like, you can call it opposition. But in our considered view, we need to allow for the proper things to be done. And that's why the PDP called immediately for the National Assembly to take actions and ensure that their constitutional responsibilities are not taken away from them. We must respect the integrity of separation of power as canvassed and carried out and canvassed for and enshrined in our constitution. Now, please permit me to answer Shehu very quickly, where he did say, if you are a Christian or you are a Muslim, that if you are doing wrong before and you now choose to repent, or whatever he calls it, is it forgiving? That clearly shows...
And don't put words into it. I didn't say you're forgiving. I said there are processes to forgiveness.
No, I'm not talking about the processes of forgiveness.
No, but it's a precondition.
Fine. Now,
if you don't fulfill it, you didn't get it.
Good. So that is why clearly in the presidency's fight to corruption, every single person that hitherto were criminals in PDP, criminals in quote, once they come to APC, they become saints. So decamping to your party is is the cleansing process.
Well, first
because
of all,
let's get this right, because now that he's here,
no, but I hope
the spokesman of the presidency, that I hope I'm aware of what?
Yeah, aware that
you have falsified all processes that had to do with anybody who has gone over to your party.
Don't intimidate me.
I'm not intimidating you. We're just being realistic here.
Hold on, let him
when you sweep under the carpet, all because you are now...
I hope you are aware that there are APC leaders who are going to court as we speak today, defending cases that are ongoing.
Please, can you give me one?
Former governor of Adamawa and his son.
Can you give former governor of Adamawa and...
He's a leader, he's a member of the National Caucus of the party. So please don't just overspeak.
Were you not aware of that?
Please, I want to ask. It's not as if it's an issue of not being aware of that, but at what stage is the case today? Let's not tell ourselves lies.
That's a different matter.
That is a different matter because these are cases that all of a sudden disappear from the court files.
I think really Nigerians watching this program wouldn't want to see the conversation descend into any kind of triviality or joking nature. Because really the issues are very serious. If you're talking about $1 billion being spent on arms at a time when the country is being ravaged by insecurity, it's very important for us to understand how those funds are being spent and whether they're going to be spent judiciously, if they're indeed approved. Now, Mr. Shehu, you haven't quite answered the question in terms of what those funds are going to be used for. I think you've referred to somebody who can offer more technical answers, but certainly Nigerians need to have some sense of what this money is going to be used for. Can you not tell us anything in that regard?
I would take this as a challenge. The Minister of Defense will be speaking to the country. I'm sure they will be breaking down all of these things. I don't have the details. I'm not even qualified maybe to know the details.
Okay, so we should expect the Minister of Defense to give us those breakdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. What's there to hide?
Well, is the darkness that is shrouding the entire procedure that has made us to now begin to say that, come, look, these funds, since he himself has agreed that there is an immediate and intermediate, for what he knows that they're supposed to be immediate demand and an intermediate demand in terms of the expenditure and the deployment of these funds. He cannot stand here and tell us that he does not know what the funds are going to be.
Contrarily, no. It is the experience, what we suffered in that. We are being asked all of these questions because the Nigerians had seen hell through your guys. So therefore, they think that we are the same.
Which hell?
But what we are saying to Nigerians that...
But let him speak.
I said, what we are saying to Nigerians is, don't compare apples with oranges. This is APC. President, impeccably clean, no financial scandals, nothing. We're different. That's the point we're making.
You are not, no. That is making the point. This time around, Nigerians are asking for actions. Nigerians are asking that your actions should match the deceptive words that is coming out of you because they have been deceived enough.
Okay.